The Cabin in the Woods challenges the horror genre, hoping for new unique horror movies rather than the same formulas being repeated in most horror movies. Brief description of the plot. You have four college students that spend their weekend at a cabin in the forest. They come across mysterious objects in the cabin's cellar that includes a diary of Patience Buckner that Dana reads. This leads to zombies being summoned, and one by one they are killed, except for two of them. We come to learn about a laboratory that is in control of the cabin, as they have plans for a ritual sacrifice for the Ancient Ones. Marty, being one of the two remaining college students, discovers the laboratory. Him and Dana infiltrate the laboratory and release all the creatures, eventually reaching the ritual chamber as they meet the director. The director tells them the sacrifice is to appease the Ancient Ones. Patience Buckner arrives, kills the director as Marty kicks them both off the edge of the ritual chamber. At the end of the movie, Marty and Dana share a joint on all they had been through, but before they could finish the joint, the Ancient One destroys the Earth. Both are a threat to each other. The scientists must appease the Ancient Ones, or otherwise the world ends. Thus, the college students have to die, with the exception of Dana. Her death is optional. This makes the college students a threat to them. While, on the other hand, you have the college students being the characters that are trying to survive. The scientists in the laboratory plans for a ritual sacrifice is a threat to their existence. Free will of the characters are questioned throughout the movie. These being the typical characters we get in horror movies. Dana being the final girl, Jules being the bad one, Kurt being the hero, Marty being the stoner, Holden being the sensible one. The movie raises the viewpoint that characters in horror movies have no free will, as the same generic horror movie characters suffer the same fate repeatedly. Evidence against horror movie characters having no free will. Marty is able to survive by being able to discover the lab. He becomes a better decision maker than the others. This is a revolution against the norm of horror movies. Marty stands up against his horror movie trope and finds a way to survive. This all suggests that Marty was one of the few characters that had free will. If you like references in a movie, then you will enjoy this movie. In this movie, the creatures are references to other horror movies. You could watch this movie countless number of times and still find new references. The ending is the director's hope for a new beginning of other directors taking a chance with new ideas. The Ancient Ones represent the audience. We, the audience, are the Ancient Ones that the lab are trying to make happy with the show. The scientists in the lab represent the directors. The characters in the movie represent actors, actresses in a horror movie. The lab needed all of the 5 college students to die, except for Dana being optional, also starting with Jules being the bad one. However, Marty survived. That was not a part of the lab's plan. This leads to the Ancient Ones destroying the Earth of the hope of a new era of more unique horror movies. I would give this movie a grade A. The movie follows a unique formula compared to other horror movies. The movie is a critique of the repetitive formulas used in horror movies. The Cabin in the Woods is a hopeful change in horror movies that other directors could take as inspiration. That's it from me. I hope you like, comment and give the channel a sub, and I'll see you next time.